Welcome to another episode of 3.5 Cast. I'm your host, Mike. With me tonight are Blackhawk
Hey everybody.
and PhantasyPen.
Hello.
But what?
About
Dragons!
That's right, everybody. It's Dragon Night here. So, Blackhawk, start us off.
Okay, we're going to start talking about our favorite dragons. Mine is the extremely underrated and crapped on white dragon. I feel so bad for that dragon. Everyone just gives a shit. Yes, it's technically the smallest. Yes, it is the dumbest. But frankly, it doesn't need to be a super genius. Because the thing is perfectly designed to basically be a dragon-shaped serial killer. I mean, let's just start with where it lives. It lives in, as far as fantasy tropes are concerned, the single most hostile location, period, the frozen north. Because as we all know, everything in the frozen north sucks more. I mean, I think the desert's the only one that's arguably worse, and that's not even entirely true. So, we start off with that. And it does not start at the top of the food chain. It starts off as a cat or bat-sized frozen death dispenser. So it's killing, rabbits and small birds and things like that, because it's basically just being a hawk. It's a hawk with a flamethrower, a cold flamethrower stuck to its face. So that's
so an
good.
ice thrower. It's got a liquid nitrogen gun.
There we go. It's got a liquid nitrogen gun stuck in its throat. This is good times for it. Being young is actually a pretty fun time for a white dragon. It's not all that bad because it's not competing with anything terrifying. It's competing with like a snowy owl. Whoop-de-doo. So then they hit medium. Now it's not a fun time anymore. Because now they're the size of a wolf. That's pretty big. And now they can't really be sitting on tree branches and crap anymore because, well, there's not a whole lot of trees for them to sit on that are going to take that kind of weight for prolonged periods of time. So now they transition to probably something more along the lines of a ambush predator. I mean, they're immune to cold, so they might as well just sit in a snowbank for a while until a deer walks by and then just breathe all over it, tackle it to the ground, and eat its face. Now, this is still not terrible for them, but honestly, between a fight between them and a bear, I might put money on the bear in that fight. A pack of wolves is probably going to beat them out simply because of action economy issues. So they're probably going to want to avoid any actual fights with these things. So they're kind of sitting in a weird niche that they've got to fight for. And they're competing with snow leopards if snow leopards happen to be in that particular environment. Now, this isn't all that bad so far. They're pretty much just competing with normal animals. And that's because I'm completely ignoring whether there's intelligent beings running around, because that completely throws this off. So just in a naturalist standpoint, they're not too bad. They're not top predators, but they're doing okay. But now they get large. This is an issue. So to recap, first 100 years of their life, ambush predator. This is great. Good times all around. But now you're large. You're the size of a horse. They gotta eat more. Now, as we all know, dragons can technically eat anything, but dragons despise eating rocks and wood and crap. I also imagine it's disgusting. So meat is probably just the most efficient way for them to get energy. So what they're going to do is probably go to, if they're happen to be near a shore of some kind, they'll go over to the shore and probably go eat things like dolphins and baleen whales and tuna, big fish and stuff. Because they have a swim speed. Yes, they have a swim speed, a fly speed, don't have a climb speed, but they can climb. They have ice walking, so they can climb ice. That's fun. And then a burrow speed. They can go literally anywhere they need to go at any point. It's good times for them. But now that they're large, they're going to be out in the ocean, competing with really big ocean things like orcas and all sorts of horrific ice water dwelling monsters. If anyone stuck their nose into Frostburn, there's some pretty bad stuff in there. And now they're probably going to be competing with frost giants. Because frost giants tend to live in those areas too. So they kind of have to go back to being a giant hawk. Probably living on large icebergs and stuff. Again, they're still not the top of the food chain here. So, this will continue in this way, avoiding frost giants, trying to avoid large whales or other things that can actually hurt them, because they can't afford that in this environment, until they get to a mature adult. Now, it's huge. It's now arguably, finally, at the top of the local food chain. This has taken forever to get to this point, because most dragons are there just by default, because what's going to compete with it in their territory. So, where does the white dragon go from that point? Well, from that point on, it just literally does exactly what it's been doing the entire time. It's a really big, very scary ambush predator. It's a highly efficient way to hunt, so it might as well keep doing it. So, it just gets a bigger repertoire of stuff, because at this point, they're actually pretty smart. The joke is that they're dumb, but they're only dumber than your average human for, well, till technically their teenage years. Then they're about on par with an average person, and whatever a person can do, they're fully capable of doing. So they'll use things like bait, or digging holes, or other horrifying things. So it keeps going. Then they'll start creating their own particular strategies. Some of them might get a breath substitution to breathe lightning or something at stuff. It's carved its own particular niche in this environment through blood, sweat, and a pile of corpses. So once it gets to ancient and it's at its biggest size, gargantuan, it's finally the undisputed ruler of its territory, and you're not going to take that away from it. So, as I like to say, blue and green dragons can be bargained with, black dragons can be bribed or impressed, red dragons can be flattered, seduced, or otherwise have your ego stroked. A white dragon, you can't negotiate it, you can't negotiate with it, you can't bribe it, you can't flatter it, you can't use nice words to make it go away. It just wants to kill you because you're not supposed to be here and it doesn't want you here. So it's going to pounce on you, rip you to shreds inside of a giant blizzard, and if you are a threat to it, it's just going to leave. Through a tunnel in the ground, through the sky, through the oceans, or just running faster than a horse on land. Have fun getting away from that thing, because it's like Satan's chasing you. That's why I love white dragons. If you play them correctly, it's a house-sized slasher killer.
That's an interesting take on it.
Definitely.
One thing that I think is interesting about the White Dragon is that the only module that I am familiar with that has it is the Sunless Citadel, and in that case, it's either a wormling or a very young one. I think it's very young. I think it's small. I guess I could be wrong. It's been a while since I read Sunless Citadel. But, you think of, like, modules, and you always think red dragons. So many red dragons. So it's nice that, at the very least, there is one well-known module that has a white dragon in it.
It's funny when you brought up frost giants. The first thing that popped into my mind. Many frost giants, particularly frost giant jarls, will capture young white dragons and use them as basically guard dogs for their homes.
Oh yeah, one of the pre-statted out ones, and I think Draconomicon is in there. I think that's not the mature adult. It's one below mature adult. I think it's a juvenile. Is literally a frost giant attack dog, and it hates it.
Yep.
And that is definitely something I'd be worried about. The one in the Sunless Citadel, I think, is a wormling. I think it's still tiny. I think. But yeah, I remember doing that one. That was a pain we were had to deal with because they're fast little suckers. That's the issue with them.
I think the biggest thing is when used well, I should say, is the ice walking. Because if it's in a place where it can just cling to the walls and or ceiling or whatever, I mean, it can just fly around and use its breath weapon, and low-level low-level PCs may not be able to do anything to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it may as well just say spider climb because 90% of the time they're in an ice cave anyway.
Yeah.
It's where they live, so he'll just sit on the ceiling. He doesn't have to fly. He'll just sit above you and breathe death down at you, and then promptly leave or tunnel through the ceiling if he has to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the terrifying thing about them, is that if they're actually in an area that's fully advantageous to them, so a large iceberg floating out in the ocean, you're not stopping it from getting to you because it'll either fly, it'll run, it will burrow as fast as most people walk, or it'll swim as fast as most people walk.
Well, that's why spell number one when dealing with an ice dragon, with a white dragon, is Wall of Fire, I think.
Yep. And then you get the ones that decided to overcome their vulnerability. 2 feats, and it's just normal damage then. Or they get the what is it? There's a ring. Or I have it reversed in my head. There's a ring that makes you vulnerable to frost or cold, but makes you immune to fire.
Yes,
What do I have?
the fiery ice. Yes, the fiery ice cube approach.
Yes. The was it Ring of Fiery Soul or Ring of Icy Soul? I might have it reversed. I don't know. But it's like, if you're a frost dragon, why would you not get one of those?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, there's my take on the white dragon. If you're playing it correctly, it's a hyper intelligent tiger.
Yes. Now, here's one spell, though, that, well, it's the bane of many creatures with a lot of natural attacks. Fire Shield. Since every time you land a hit, it's going to deal not insignificant damage.
Yeah, that's not a fun time for them.
Yeah.
So that'll work. Shivering Touch doesn't, though. Which, because it's cold, so they're immune to that.
I thought Shivering Touch was ability damage.
It is, but I believe it's stopped by, I'm going to look that up real fast there, but I'm pretty sure it is stopped by cold immunity. Lom's Finger Darts isn't, so you can still do that. Let me take a quick look.
It does say creatures with the cold
subtype
are immune to the effects of Shivering Touch. So
There
that's
it is.
a nice benefit of being a white dragon.
Okay.
Means they got to shoot their fingers at you.
That's new.
Yeah, just one more thing to make them horrifying. Also, they have really high AC for their age cap for their CR.
I feel like early on that's not the case.
I was trying to remember. I was going over it with a buddy once, and I think for almost every CR that they're at, they have the highest AC of the chromatic dragons.
I mean, possible. I would have to check all of them, but I mean, they're lower than Red Dragon. How about that?
Well, you gotta go off CR, not age category. The Red Dragons do beat them, but they're also like 3 CR higher.
True. I was not looking at Chandra.
Yeah. Age category, they lose that out. Largely because they're smaller and whatnot, but
yeah.
If you go off of CR, they win, which is terrifying.
Yeah, it looks like that is the case.
All right.
And then they have the just unholy allegiance of fog cloud mixed with grease.
Yeah, I mean, that's goes right into the ice walking comment I was talking about earlier. It's a really good combination.
That ability is just disgusting. Hey, you, I don't like you. Just be in a cloud of freezing, hellish mist while I walk over there and just rip your face off.
As you struggle to stand up.
It's a fun time if you're the White Dragon. So there's my favorite.
All right. Mike, would you like to go next?
Sure. My favorite. Ever since I found this, I am certain that it instantly became my favorite, and I don't know that it will ever be surpassed by anything. It's the Brain Stealer Dragon, also known as the Mind Flayer Dragon, or Illithid Dragon.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's from Dragon Magazine 337. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. Especially if the party doesn't know it's coming. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. It's a dragon with all of the best parts of a dragon, and a Mind Flayer with all the best parts of a Mind Flayer. Its breath weapon is not a breath weapon. No, it's a psionic Mind Blast. And it stuns for a ridiculous number of turns. And then it can just grapple them, fly away with them while they're stunned, and eat their brains. And take all their treasure and leave. Doesn't even have to go after the rest of the party. You can just be like, no, I like you. I'm taking your treasures. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, mind flayers in general are pretty horrifying.
Yeah. I think in the fluff, I forget exactly, but I kind of think in the fluff, there's even comments about mind flayers being afraid of them, which is pretty good.
Which makes sense. I
I was
mean,
gonna
the
say,
one
can
thing
you blame them?
I
No,
don't know.
but anything that scares a mind flayer is good in my book. So
I mean, think about it. The one weakness a Mind Flayer has is the fact that it's squishy. You can just smack them really hard and then they fall over and die because that's not my specialty. But now we have a Mind Flayer duct taped to a dragon. So, like, it doesn't
Great.
have a weakness.
Great. Now you've gone and put that image in my head where a dragon has sawn off a horn and just tied a mind flayer there.
That's almost what happened. Because it's got all of its dragon bits. We just added illithid bits to it.
I think I need to make like something like some other kind of dragon that has just sovereign glued a bunch of mind flayers onto it now, and have that attack my party at some point. They won't know what's happening.
I can only imagine how pissed off the illithids would be.
I mean, that makes it even better because then they're just projecting rage everywhere.
I must stat this out now. It must be done.
That does have to get done. That sounds like a hilariously amazing.
Now here's the question. Do the mind flayers count as armor, a weapon, or a template?
If you get enough of them, they could count as the scales.
Oh my.
If
Duct
only I
taped
were a
illithid
better
template.
artist, I could draw this.
The duct taped illithid template.
Damn
Must be, what, huge or larger?
it,
Right.
you almost made me choke on my Baileys.
Yes. Success.
Okay, note to self. Illithid duct tape template, and subsequently dragon illithid duct tape stat block.
Just stick freaking illithids on things. You're a huge creature. You can have up to 2 illithids duct taped to you.
All right,
You
Fantasy
may
Pen,
wanna-
what's your dragon while I stat this up?
Okay. My favorite dragon, hands down, is the silver dragon. I know, it's kind of bland, but, well, silver dragons are to other dragons what the human is to the other core races. They are brash, they are wild, they are somewhat generic because Wizards of the Coast doesn't understand game design half the time. But there's just something about them that pulls people in, which is perfectly fine. Silver dragons, they love people, all people. They love them so much that they willingly take on the forms of lesser races, particularly human men or elvish women. And they will spend almost as much, if not more, of their time in their preferred humanoid shape over their dragon one. And, well, call me sentimental, but I just can't bring myself to hate someone who just basically loves you unconditionally. They to a silver dragon, a humanoid is what a very friendly cat or dog is to a human. Now that might seem derogatory, but think about that a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, I mean, people do really like dogs.
Well, it's not just that we really like dogs. We quite literally would not have survived without them.
You're not wrong on that one either. This is also why there are so many silverbrow humans running around.
Yes, that is the other thing. Silver dragons account for more half-dragons than more half-dragon humanoids, there must be that qualifier,
Mm-hmm.
than every other dragon breed combined.
I was going to say the next two are probably black and red.
Hmm.
Though red and black are just less picky.
Yeah.
They also have to wait way longer because they have to actually cast polymorph.
Mm-hmm. While the silver dragon shape-shifting is quite literally in their blood. It is an ability they have from the time they are a wormling, just like their ability to manipulate the clouds.
Yes. The goofy cloud stuff. I
Hey
always thought
man,
that
castle in the sky, you can't knock it.
I'm not knocking it. It's just I always thought it was funny. It's like, wait, what? And then you're like, oh wait, you can actually do some pretty weird stuff with this. That's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when I do my campaigns, I typically will take out every dragon type except for silvers and reds. And generally I just use those as the two primary examples of good and evil in my worlds.
Right in the heart. Getting both the white and the black dragon. Ow. Honestly, red is my least favorite of the chromatics.
Really? Why is that?
I just find them boring. Largely because every time I look at one, I'm like, it's just Smaug.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think they're kind of overused.
I was gonna say Smog is definitely the archetypal inspiration for the red dragon. Yes.
I mean, Smaug's great. I ain't gonna crap on Smaug. It's just, you know, you get the one player seduces a red dragon once, and you're kind of like, well, I can't argue against this because it would totally do that.
I have never had a player try to seduce a red dragon, but I did turn a red dragon into a sword once.
I would like the sword that was once a red dragon. That sounds like a good sword.
Well, I was gonna say any dragon polymorphed into a weapon becomes a fantastic item.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Just
neat.
everything about that just screams awesome.
It really does. Like, that's just metal as shit. My sword was once a giant town ravaging dragon.
Well, in that case, your sword isn't metal, it's chromatic.
In that particular instance, yes.
I would just be worried about a dispel.
Ooh.
True polymorph, double cast it, that ain't never coming out.
Well,
I
will say,
would like to mention though one more dragon type that has an honorable mention, unless we wanted to carry on about the reds.
well, I just only have one last thing to add, and it's that I really like a Chardalon.
Ah, yes, yes, another Sunless Citadel reference. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to see the Sunless Citadel combined as a single. I'd say hardcover, but I know that's not gonna happen. Just as a single compilation that actually ties all of them together better. I've tried it once, and it was tough, but I added a whole lot more Chardalon references throughout the modules just to really tie together the fact that like this is coming. This red dragon, the red dragon of red dragons, is coming.
Yeah, I own most of the modules that go into that, which is Sun of the Citadel, Forge of Fury, both of which are a lot of fun.
Yes.
Then there's a really random one after that.
Speaker and Dreams.
Thank you, Speaker and Dreams, which is kind of out of left field.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's funny that y'all mention a Chardalon because my only exposure to him is the Vestige.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole
His
reason that he is a
terrible
vestige,
vestige
is because of that Sunless Citadel adventure path. So,
That vestige of his is terrible, and it makes me really sad.
although now that I've said that, I realize he may have been in previous editions, and I just don't know it.
I think actually the one where the druid that ripped his heart out is actually from, I think, second edition.
Figures.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but it's really awesome. Oh no, my heart's ripped out. Excuse me while I rip open a port in the dimensions and just grab a pit fiend and ram it into my chest. That dragon is so awesome solely for that. I just wish his vestige was not crap.
So,
Those are
honorable mentions here go to the King of Dragons, the most ridiculous, most awesome Time Dragon from
oh dear God.
Dragon 359. Yes, that is the response that I would expect whenever it's mentioned. It's
I was
you
gonna say
think
that's a
epic
new one for
dragons.
me.
Oh, you don't know it?
No,
Ah, you're
I
in for a
haven't
treat.
bothered. Yeah, the most recent Dragon magazine I keep is 358.
Ah, you missed it by one. Yes, the other epic dragons that you would think of are the ones in the epic level handbook. The prismatic and force, both great, very powerful, excellent epic dragons. But no, the time dragon is just absurd. Done well, it kills anything and everything. There's really nothing you can do about it. It can travel through time. I believe it's every round it can do some kind of time stop effect. Let me see. Oh, as a standard action, it can cast time stop at will. So just whenever it wants, time stop. And it also has time mastery. So it can just influence the flow of time however it wants, so that it's just always under the effect of a haste spell. Basically, it exists at every time, at every age category, so it can pretty much do what it wants when it wants, and they're all neutral. So there's no reason why someone should ever try to hunt them down unless they just want a challenge. And at that point, your character's done. It's over.
You're just an idiot.
Yep,
Don't.
just an idiot.
I'm just gonna go back in time and just squash your parents. Problem solved.
Yeah, really.
All right, we have spoken about the mightiest of dragons, the largest and the most powerful. But now I would like to speak about the smallest true dragon, the steel dragon, from the Forgotten Realms book Dragons of Faerun. This particular dragon type is most interesting to me because they cap out at huge size actually. Even as a great worm, they do not get larger than huge.
This is really weird.
It is, but if you read their texts, they live among humanoids like silver dragons do, and they prefer living in humanoid-sized homes. During battle, I believe there's reference somewhere in this thing that they will often serve as mounts for cavalrymen.
And it is worth mentioning that they're typically what lawful neutral or lawful good. So there's a reason
Yes.
for it.
Hmm.
It's funny. I know the Steel Dragon specifically because it constantly gets recommended when people want to play a dragon. Because its first age category is only like LA2 or something, and it's like
Yes, Wormlings are LA2.
yeah.
Why would a dragon even get level adjustment? That's really out of character. I blame Forgotten Realms.
Well,
I-
all wormlings have a level adjustment because you're expected to be able to play as those.
What? I
It's
don't remember
only the
that. Is
higher
that in the
age.
monster manual?
It's
Like
Yes.
lore?
It is only adult and onwards that you cannot play.
with quotes.
Yes.
Honestly, I've played a white dragon before, and we threw out the rules in Draconomicon for doing so because, frankly, the level adjustment on that is utterly ridiculous.
Wow, look at that. They have
Well,
level adjustment.
playable dragon rules in general are ridiculous because they advance by years, not experience.
No, you're supposed to be taking levels in something else, and then oh, it's been 10 years, so now you get your Dragon Age category, and you
Yeah,
have to take the one hit die in order to do it. It's really dumb. It's
yeah.
just the whole thing's a mess. But I played a white dragon once, and the agreement I made with my DM was that I just wouldn't take. I'd have no level adjustment, but I would also have no class levels. I was taking straight dragon hit die. I was fine with this because I was just trying to be a beat stick white dragon anyway. We found out that at level 15, being a 15 hit die dragon is entirely reasonable.
Hmm.
I mean, you're nasty.
Yeah,
but
level adjustment seems to be balanced for quite literally level 1, and that's it. So at higher levels, it doesn't function.
Hence the level adjustment threads.
Oh god, yes. There's very few I would say that work, and most of them are level LA 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lich is the only one I would argue for the higher up ones that's actually fair, and that's because you have an infinite res.
Potentially.
Yeah, as long as the
Potentially.
items attack.
Excellent segue into the Draco Lich.
Draco
Yes.
Liches are amazing.
Nothing more terrifying than a Lich, except a dragon that is also a Lich.
Yes. Yes.
And the
Yes.
joy of that is it's literally what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
Though annoyingly for the dragon, they want to do that as late as possible.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
never used a Draco Lich. Have either of you?
I prepped one as part of like a final encounter for. If you'll remember our first episode, I mentioned I ran an undead apocalypse.
Indeed.
Yes, the final boss of that campaign was going to be a Lich riding a Draco Lich.
That sounds amazing.
It is another metal album cover waiting to happen.
Oh,
Seriously.
it totally is. I've never ran a Draco Lich, but I have run a Dread Warrior Dragon, which is kind of the same thing. They don't have a res, but they're a hyper intelligent undead, which is always nice. The
Mhm.
closest I've ever gotten was a what was it? It was a I gotta go this again. A half far spawn 11-headed Hydra Lich with the mind of a cleric attached to its mind.
That explains how it qualified, because Hydras can't cast spells, last I checked.
No, they can't, but it was a half far spawn, so it was intelligent, and I think I gave it a class level or 2. So that's how it got that, and it was bestowed this
Okay.
gift by Nerul.
Okay, moving on from Lich Dragons, let's go to the next undead dragon template, the Vampiric Dragon.
Is there a stat block of any vampire dragon anywhere?
Yes, Draconomicon, page 195. I'm looking right at it.
Huh.
The
That's where we got the monstrous
is for
vampire.
a vampiric red dragon.
Of course, red dragon.
Yep.
Like I said, overused.
The issue dragons run into with turning undead is the fact that they stop aging, which is a huge
Yes.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they want to do that. Either they want to age curse themselves, which is a hilarious strategy to do when you're a dragon. You just hit yourself with bestow curse and then use one of the alternate curses to make you older, which ups you at age category, and then become undead, which gives you all sorts of wonderful benefits.
I think another funny thing about a dragon becoming a vampire is what vampire would be dumb enough to do this? Like, I think I need to feast tonight. Oh, look, a dragon. I'll go suck that dragon's blood. That sounds like a good idea.
Well, okay.
Right?
Here's what this is what realistically is going to cause a vampire dragon to occur.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of
Some
agreement, right?
vampire lord finds himself a dragon young enough that he can beat it with either on his own or using all of his spawn, and then he forcibly turns the dragon in order to turn it into basically a pet.
And I would argue that, but then it's too young. Then it's not worth it.
I mean, if he's just using it as a mount, then he doesn't really need anything that's not
Yeah.
large or huge, which is way younger for a red dread, which is probably why most of them are red dragons, because they just want size.
Indeed.
Which makes sense. But honestly, in that instance, if I was the vampire lord, I'd just be casting I would literally just go fight like to a graveyard and cast animate dread warrior.
Yeah.
Because then you get a really big sucker.
Yeah.
The weird thing is how do you originate one? Because technically a normal vampire is the humanoid vampire template. How is it making a monstrous one? Because it can't actually turn a dragon into it, so there had to be an original Count Dragon Dracula.
according to their Draconomicon entry, they appear spontaneously.
Uh,
Oh.
That's
amusing.
disturbing.
When a dragon gets hit by energy drain or unique confluences of negative energy. So, quite literally, you stuff them into the negative energy plane and you let them cook for a century or two.
Wow. That is so weird.
Okay.
Also horrifying.
How about some less intelligent undead dragons, like the zombie dragon?
I love zombie dragons. They can fly yet.
The only time I had undead dragons properly come up in a campaign, we had a necromancer that was. I'm going to go out and say it. He was just a complete asshole. He decided to call every undead in a forest while we were being chased by. I don't even remember, but it was a bad time to do it, and literally the entire party told him, "Hey ho, don't do it." And he does it. So what does our DM do? He calls up an undead. He calls up two undead zombie dragon and a skeleton dragon, and just literally sicked both of those on our party because while the spell that he used didn't have a hit die limit for the number of undead it could call, we were still extremely low level. And he could not control the dragons that he had summoned.
And he doesn't have a command undead sitting there.
No, I think we were level 3 or level 5, not even.
Whoops.
And that's why you don't do that unless you have one of those floating around.
Mm-hmm.
That's just called being an intelligent necromancer.
He forgot to
Here's a
cast
dragon.
Charm DM.
Well, here's the thing. That necromancer, he never played it intelligently. In fact, he flat out didn't understand how magic worked.
Oh god.
Something I did not realize until several years later when I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to play an abjuration wizard. And I realized, oh, he has no clue what he's talking about.
That's just sad.
Very frustrating because, like, every other character he's ever played is a spellcaster, and every other spellcaster he's ever played was a necromancer.
Is he at least playing a dread necromancer?
No, he played a third-party wizard variant.
Was it the oh, what is it? Dreadlord? No.
No.
Is that class from Dragon?
No,
Medium?
it's literally a third-party book. Hang on. I've got it sitting here. The book is called The Secret College of Necromancy.
Wow, I don't even know who's that. What?
It is by Green Ronin. So
Oh,
it's
not
actually
too bad.
pretty balanced.
Green Ronin's pretty good.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. I like their
If
games
anything,
more than
they're
I like
underpowered.
Wizard. Yeah, they literally call it the Necromancer. It is a wizard variant that somehow, they get a few nice abilities, and at level 20, you automatically turn into a lich.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
the real nice thing about it is you get every necromancy spell.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That is sort of like the class out of Dragon Companion that I can't remember offhand because I don't care enough because it's just kind of a
The Pale Master. Pale
What is it?
Master. Yeah.
Thank you. You mean you get a nice cohort that's undead, which is neat, but
Yeah. No, this one gives you an undead familiar. Very
that's fun.
interesting. But tonight is not about necromancers. It is what about dragons?
Well, I have a dragon that like nobody talks about. Saddens me great.
What
The
would that
Fang
be?
Dragon.
Oh yes. Yes.
The dragon made of spiky death.
Yes.
What source?
Draconomicon. There are several books actually.
Yeah, Fang Dragons got reprinted. I think they're originally from
Mm-hmm. They are originally from Faerun. They were reprinted in the Dragon magazine, and then they were reprinted in one of the other books that's about dragons. I think it might be Races of the Dragon, or
They were mentioned in Dragon Magic because they are one of the dragons that you can make a dragon pact with
right.
for
Yeah.
the pact bound adept. I love
Mhm.
that class.
I,
Prestige class.
here's the great thing about them. They have no breath weapon. Instead, they have a bite attack that does con damage, and it is beautiful.
They also look cool as shit.
Yeah, I made a half giant dragon shaman that was that had a fang dragon as their totem. I literally took her to go wrestle the Tarask once. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool dragon. I remember seeing it a long time ago, but I completely forgot about it.
Most people remember the picture because it takes up like half the page when it shows up.
I immediately recognized the picture, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's such a great picture, and the dragon
Mhm.
itself is actually really cool.
Yeah,
And
it's just people don't use them.
it is sad.
It's sad that the Great Worm is not colossal. I feel like it should be. I just think that something like this that's kind of just like the White Dragon in the sense that it's just a blender, it would be so cool if it was colossal.
I think the reason it's not colossal is the increased damage ability, where they count as one size larger for natural attacks.
Most likely.
And it's not like you can't jack it up another size if you really wanted to, because then you just break down the handbook.
Well, that and Wizards of the Coast is surprisingly stingy about colossal-sized dragons.
They really are.
Out of the core dragons, I think the only ones are golds, reds, and silvers.
Yep.
They like to keep that dragon is the most powerful.
It's very weird. Because, I mean, the other ones can get it. It's not like it's difficult to go up another size.
Yeah. Personally, I think I understand the approach. It is kind of a mark of rank, so to speak.
I guess. And a bunch of them don't actually want to be that big. I mean, out of all of them, the white dragon would like to be colossal. And frankly, any that live that long totally deserve to get the template from Epic Level Handbook to make them colossal. But I don't think a black dragon cares. I don't think a blue dragon cares. I'm pretty sure green dragons don't give a crap. I mean, the Fang Dragon doesn't need to be that big because it hits that big already, so it's already got the benefit.
Yep.
As a non sequitur, the sound imitation ability makes it seem like a great serial killer. Also, I know you mentioned the White Dragon being a serial killer, but man, being able to mimic any voice or sound it is heard, that's such a old 80s slasher horror movie type thing going on there.
Indeed.
They really are, and they're amazing.
Also, I'm pretty sure Jason and Freddy Krueger were the inspiration. They just wanted to see those as dragons.
Clearly, that is totally what happened. I love the Fang Dragon. Honestly, the reason I really started liking it is not just because it's really awesome looking, the fact that it's just a giant beat stick of a dragon. But I was poking around in Dragon Magic, and then you find you can make those pacts with dragons where you give up your highest level spell slot, and then they give you a bunch of spell-like abilities. And honestly, for a sorcerer, these spell-like abilities coming off of the Fang Dragon were really nice because a bunch of them were various. It was a pretty weird selection of stuff that you actually are totally fine with only having a couple of casts a day of. I will get to them because it's a really cool list. There it is.
Dragon Pacts, page 87.
Yeah, it's a great. I just love Dragon Packs. I just feel they're just criminally underrated.
I've never really messed around with them too much. For some reason, I don't like to use dragons as major features in my games.
I am the same way.
I actually don't run into dragons all that often, but I play a bunch of characters that are dragon oriented.
Yeah, I think the problem is they are too iconic in a way. DMs tend to shy away from them.
Yeah, it's. I understand that logic. It's kind of why when people do run dragons, they. But yes, so the Fang Dragon has Master of Magical Defense. So you start off by getting shields 2 per day, and then it goes up and get more uses, and then you get Dispel Magic, and then you eventually get Lesser Globe of Invulnerability.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking this would be great on an
Amazing.
Abjurationist. What the hell?
I know I was playing a sorcerer once who was a Fang Dragon sorcerer, and I'm like, excuse me, I want Master Magical Defense because I don't want to be burning spell slots on things. I just like to have them available.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think I stopped at blowing a 6-level spell slot and called it a day because I didn't care about Compulsion. I'm like, 3 shields, 3 dispels, and 2 lesser globes of invulnerability. Yep, I'm good. That sounds great.
Okay.
And Packbound Adept is a really fun class to play because it makes you really dragony.
So we've talked about the dragon with no breath weapon. Now I would like to talk about the dragon that I feel has the most awesome breath weapon.
Purple?
No,
Oh,
the
Bahamut?
Mercury Dragon.
Oh, God.
Because its breath weapon is a literal laser.
Yep.
Their breath weapon is a line of intense light that burns whatever it touches, dealing fire damage. The reason this is my favorite is because my very first player character, Pyrrhus Volcanus, was a Mercury Dragon Shaman. And he was later turned into a weasel, but retained his breath weapon. So I had a weasel that could shoot lasers.
It's a laser weasel.
Yes. Unfortunately, my DM made him unplayable when that happened. Literally took him away from me. I was mad as hell.
Well, I think it's because he realized I just made this dude tiny, and I have not done anything to impact his damage.
Well, I mean, funny enough, my main combat operation when I played as Pyrrhus was unarmed combat.
Oh, God, that was...
Completely unoptimal.
That's
but
terrible.
my primary purpose in battle with that party was I was our tank. My job was to be the big distraction on the field, and then once battle was over and we needed healing, my job was to patch everybody up.
Dragon Shamans are good at that.
Yes, they are. Very good at that. Which is great because we lost our cleric after the 3rd session.
Ooh, that's always rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Dragon Shaman. I just wish it was full base attack bonus.
Good lord, why is it not? Why is it 3/4 base attack bonus and why does it not have martial weapon?
I don't know, but I've done my own modification of it, which was really simple. I just
even if they don't want to give martial weapons, give natural attacks. Give it claws, give it a tail. Give it a fucking bite.
Right.
Let the dragon shaman be the dragon. Let it be the paladin to the Dragonfire Adept's cleric. Goddamn.
I completely agree with you, and it's so easy to fix the class because I made one for because a buddy kind of wanted to do one really patch job on it. It got full BAB, and then I made its breath weapon advanced every other level instead of every. So basically, you had I think it was like 2 dice per. Like I basically wanted to be like a dice per level or whatever. So you're gonna have a crap load of dice by the end of it. Like I don't really care. It's a breath weapon. Woo! You can have your nice thing.
Yes.
It does amazing things for that class. And it's so sad because the Dragonfire Adept is over there being awesome.
Yeah.
Or at least competent.
Great. Now I'm going to go and homebrew yet another Dragon Shaman in my free time later.
It is a truly fun class.
Yes, and it is surprisingly moddable.
Oh yeah.
It's like I just realized why it is so fun. It is literal Skyrim. It's literal Skyrim.
It is.
You are Dovahkiin with mods.
Yeah. I will be honest. When you said laser, I'm like, he's going to talk about Bob and his giant death laser breath. His massive disintegration beam.
Yes, because you cannot beat being a weasel with a laser beam of death.
No. That might be why the DM's like, okay, I've underestimated. Nope. You took it all away from me, so I'll just shoot lasers from this man's
Yes.
Oh, God.
The best part is our party's fighter realized I still had my breath weapon, and he literally just said, "Next combat, I am going to wield you like a gun."
Pew! Pew!
Fun times.
Indeed.
I'll be honest, my favorite dragon-based character wasn't even a caster, and hilariously wasn't even dragon-blooded. It was a human. What was it? It was a human lion spirit totem barbarian, battle dancer, fist of the forest. Did I go deep? I did not go full deep. I didn't go deep worm, so I did not.
That is
Full
some
beard,
interesting
beard fist.
combos you got going.
The whole point of it was it was lion spirit totem, and then it went into wolf totem. So I was doing tripping shenanigans on top of this. So the whole point of the build was scream really loudly in whirling frenzy, and then just jump at something and beat the ever loving crap out of it.
Okay.
While being con based.
Speaking of dragons and rage,
Oh God.
we've got to mention the dragon with a natural battle fury, which is quite literally barbarian rage with the serial numbers filed off. That can still be modified by everything that modifies rage.
Oh, that's
But it
fun.
has no time limit and no usage limit.
Oh God.
Correction, it is once per day, but it has no duration. It can last as long as you want.
What dragon?
Battle Dragon!
That's such an original name.
From the heroic domains of Isgard. And you cannot convince me that Kor is not riding into battle on one of these things.
What book? Planar Handbook?
Actually, Draconomicon, page 176.
Yeah, they had a bunch of planar dragons.
Interesting.
You can get some real fun stuff if you dive into the back of these books.
The magma dragon.
You mean the Pyroclastic Dragon?
Yeah, I was
Thank
thinking
you, the
Pyroclastic.
pyroclastic dragon. It has such an awesome name, and it looks so cool.
Oh, and here's another just awesomely named dragon type, especially that freaky ass. Okay, it's the Howling Dragon, and to me, it looks like it is the dragon equivalent of a Chihuahua.
Nice. If we're gonna talk dragon names, I think that the heavy metal dragons have to win as the best named, collectively anyway.
The heavy metal dragons?
Yes,
I
heavy
don't
metal
think
dragons. From, of course, Dragon Mag again. Also known as the Ferris dragons, but come on, if you're gonna call them Ferris or heavy metal, you're gonna call them the heavy metal dragons.
They're the heavy metal dragons.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Like the Cobalt dragon.
that's-
The Cobalt
okay.
dragon has a force breath, so it deals force damage, which is pretty awesome. But it doesn't stop there. It also bull rushes whoever
Which
it hits.
magazine are they from?
Ooh, 356.
I do not have that one. I have 355 and 357.
Oh man,
I'm going to.
you're striking out on
rectify
my Dragon Mag dragons. Yeah, I like the heavy metal dragons though. They're pretty cool. I like the artwork too. I mean, can you imagine a dragon made of chrome? Pretty badass.
That is pretty awesome. Dragons I know that also don't get a lot of love, and I'm guilty too, is the Incarnum dragons.
I
Those are
have
neat.
not spent enough time looking at Magic of Incarnum to even know that there were
I
dragons in that
have,
book.
and I know
I'm-
I've seen them, but I think I ignored them because I was looking for giants.
Oh yeah, the Incarnum giants are great. I've never used them, but I do like Incarnum. Specifically
Yeah,
the Totemist, because the Totemist is amazing.
The Totemist is like basically the only class that is good.
I mean,
Well,
you can
no,
make
that's not
one
true.
of them good.
That is not true. The Incarnate is nice, but the Totemist is just better.
Totem
It
is
is
built properly.
yes, and it's just got so much more flavor. Yeah, Incarnum Dragons, page 172. Why have I never looked at this?
They're quirky, really. That's
Yeah.
kind of I just mentioned them because
Oh,
they just
I have
honestly
looked
are
at
quirky.
this. I have looked at this, and they are quirky as fuck.
So
They're
I just want to say that the artwork for the Incarnum Dragon just just immediately hit me as the Final Fantasy Behemoth. Like that's
oh
exactly what
yeah,
it looks like.
I can
the
see it.
Incarnum artwork is so weird,
Mm-hmm.
but I do like how the Incarnum dragon works. It took the gold dragon wings, but made its head look so much cooler.
Yes.
It's like this weird cobra goat thing. I love it.
That's a
Like,
good
Cobra
description.
goat thing. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. It's a cobra mixed with a goat with wings.
All
As
right.
dumb as that sounds, the dragon makes it.
And
Yes.
frog feet with claws.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Oh wow. But check out their breath weapon though. It literally they shout your soul out of your body.
right?
Huh.
It's just like screw you.
Yeah, that's actually pretty
They
badass.
drain. I mean, that's kind of why no one uses them because unless people have ascension cares.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
that's pretty nasty when they do that. But the
Mhm.
thing that's awesome is they have freaking meld shaping.
Yes, they have soulborn meld shaping. And the thing about
Ugh.
soulborn meld shaping is literally anything but the soulborn can make it good.
Because the only reason the Soulborn sucks at it is because you don't get it until like level 5.
Oh god, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I mean, I've made the Soulborn chassis work solely because I give you the you get your crap at level 1. It just
Yeah, I-
goes up really slow, which is fine.
Okay,
I was okay
this
with that.
this was my fix for the soulborn. It doesn't or I turned it into a prestige class. That's what I did.
That works too.
Yeah, I literally just knocked it into a prestige class and made it a Tome of Battle class. That was what I did. It is a Tome of Battle Incarnum prestige class.
That's definitely a neat. It's definitely a clean way to do it.
Mhm.
I think I gave it more Essentia, and then I just literally took the chart for their meld shaping and then dragged the entire thing down to level 1, and then you would just get an extra one like every 4 levels.
Nice.
So I mean, it was slow, but from level 1, you have a soul meld. Yay! Which kind of solves half of its problem. But yeah, they have freaking chakra binds and crap, and it's like, yeah, and then they eat soul melds.
Yes.
It can just eat. I'm gonna bite you, Mr. Totemist, and I'm gonna eat. Now I'm gonna eat your wings. Now I'm gonna eat your flame belt. Now I'm gonna eat your Ankeg breastplate. It's like, what?
It's like, of course, the problem is that, well, the entire time the totemist is probably using their growling arms to just rip at their face.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's gonna be great, but the upside is they're actually built to be doing this kind of crap. They're pretty freaking durable.
Yeah,
They have a lot of con. Holy crap!
well, that's because Incarnum is Constitution based.
I know. I was glad they were smart about that. Oh my god, these things are intelligent. I did not realize that. They are
What's it
actually
got?
they're pretty smart.
21 at Great Worm isn't that? Oh, I'm looking at Wisdom. Oh shit,
32.
They do have a lot of intelligence. Holy fuck! Why is it more? Why is it smarter than it is Constitution? Why?
I don't know.
Oh, right, because breath weapon scales off of con. Right.
Oh yeah, we don't need that. I think the
Yeah.
breath weapon is bad enough.
Yeah, that
You
was.
have no Essentia.
Oh god, if it had the con score of a regular, just oh my god, no, that would be.
Starts with a crown chakra. The
Yep.
first chakra it gets.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gets brow chakra, and then it gets throat chakra. Throat chakra summit.
Yeah.
That thing is terrifying.
I think it would be. I think the throat chakra would be better if they had a way to modify their breath weapon using it.
Yeah, they would need their own exclusive
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Anyways, shall we talk about some of the other more some of the other less seen dragon types, like oh, here's one, Radiant Dragon.
Is this also Draconomicon?
Yes, that I am just going through the list.
Pretty much when in doubt, just go straight to Draconomic.
Yeah, basically.
Really ridiculous
Draconomicon
things.
or Dragons of the Faerun are my two main go-tos.
I like Dragon Magazine for dragons. I feel like they're all less common as well.
Yes, but Dragon Magazine is also banned by most GMs, and
Sadly.
I had to find my dragons from a player perspective.
So what's the Radiant Dragon? What page is the Radiant Dragon?
185.
Oh, it's that thing.
Yes.
Golden
The golden, bright, shiny boy from Celestia.
immunity to light effects. Okay, that's an interesting immunity.
Yeah. Basically, any spell with a light tag they can ignore.
Ooh, they get Prismatic Sphere.
Yep.
Holy crap, that thing has a lot of AC.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, what is the CR of this thing at a Great Worm?
I have a feeling it's not too high. It doesn't seem that impressive. Yeah, it's only 23 as a Great Worm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
just got a
the
lot of AC.
Yeah, it's not the strongest dragon type, but it's unique.
Oh God, the one below it for when you really want to be a dick. The Rust Dragon.
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah.
When you want your players to just throw a book at you.
Don't do this to your players. Please don't do this.
No.
We
don't-
beg you, don't do this to your players.
What does metal resistance even do? I didn't even look at that. What does that do? Now.
It's resistant to attacks from metal
there it is.
weapons.
Resistant
Makes
to
sense.
resist-
Weapons.
Yeah.
Rust Dragon is damage reduction equal to what a Rust Dragon 2 age categories older than itself has.
When attacked by a metal weapon.
Okay, that's actually just kind of unique.
Yeah, basically, if you want to kill this thing, you sick a swarm of druids on it.
Yeah, beat it with a stick. You literally beat it with a stick. Just beat the crap out of it with a stick.
Basically. That is your only solution. Oh, monks. Monks would be great for fighting this.
My God.
Unless you're a Warforged monk.
Oh. Wait, yes.
Made of wood.
Made of wood.
Don't take adamantine body.
Yes. If
I
you
mean, I
need
know-
to take the ironwood body, do that.
Yeah, I know this isn't technically a dragon. It's a drake. But I want to give them an honorable mention because they look really cool. It's the Abyssal Drake. For when you want to make a Nazgul.
I think another honorable mention is the Dracotar, then.
Oh, Dracotars are so cool. And so goofy.
That's very goofy.
It's goofy as hell, but it's also really just cool. Like,
Yeah.
it works.
I feel like if you wanted to make a dragon-based empire, shock troopers.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Drakes are
here's
awesome.
a fun dragon just by the name. The Tartarian dragon.
Oh, those things are awesome.
Good old, what is that?
Yeah.
Carcerai?
Yeah, Carceri. Yeah.
Let me find that one. Plastic.
Oh, man.
The Styx Dragon.
How did we skip the Ethereal Dragon?
Because they're dumb.
I was going to say I think it made us skip over it. It turned ethereal, that's how.
It looks,
It's like,
looks
who
a
wants
little
to
bit
deal with that?
like Puff, the magic dragon.
It's like, what? Yeah, the Tartarian Dragon just... And
Why
then
you
there's
gotta
its...
remind me of that song, bro? Why you gotta do that to me?
Why would you... Then there's its pseudo-sibling, the Styx Dragon.
Well, when you go and mention pseudo, you have to mention the pseudo dragon.
It's a cat.
Yes, the
It's a
only
stupid
dragon that can be a familiar. Okay, but there is one dragon that looks even more cat-like, to me at least, than the pseudo-dragon. Look at the Chaos Dragon. Look at that picture.
Yeah.
That to me just screams, I am a 900-foot-long cat.
I mean, I'll be honest here. I have a running theory that cats are just dragons that polymorph themselves to have fur so they can get proper pets. That's my theory. They literally just wanted to get scratched properly, so they gave themselves fur so humans would wait on them.
Okay, but I always thought that cats were secretly elves, or elves were secretly cats. I think was how it's supposed to go.
I don't know. Dragons and cats have way too much.
Do
They
they?
walk the same. They have a superiority complex. They're always looking down at you. They're fairly certain they can murder you horribly.
Okay, here is the biggest difference between cats and dragons. Cats hate water, while 50% of dragon species are semi-aquatic.
Tiger.
Okay, but then you're not talking about house cats anymore, and I believe that was the topic of
That's true.
conversation.
I don't think cheetahs don't mind water. And cheetahs are really easy to domesticate, actually. They just aren't because they don't breed in captivity. Very friendly, though.
A little too friendly because their tongues can strip skin.
Yeah, you just want to teach them to not do that real fast.
Well, here's the problem. When they're licking you, it's grooming. You literally should not do that, or you will improperly. Yeah, that really fucks with their psychology.
Here's another dragon that just looks awesome as hell, and totally gets mentioned because it's in dragon magic as well. Dragon-blooded people. The Shadow Dragon.
Ah, yes. The dragon that got turned into a template in 5e, even though 5e doesn't have templates!
Yeah, that's... What? 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 What even is consistency?
I do feel like Shadow Dragon gets mentioned on the forums a decent amount.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I think it does because of its relation to the Drow, and you get like the half Shadow Dragons.
Yeah, I thought that was deep worms. Well, no, same difference.
I thought it was because the breath weapon is negative levels.
Well, that too, because that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. And then it's got Shadow Blend, which... Hi, I have total concealment because go screw yourself. They're very well designed. Like, whoever sat down and made this dragon was really good at what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing is actually well built, which is not something I can always say.
Yeah, if you actually go and explore the non-core dragons in 5e, in 3.5, not 5e. My brain got stuck. They are pretty well designed. Oh, hey, here's the thing. The Tartarian dragon goes up to Colossal.
Ah.
Does he now?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him. Oh, wow, he's got it at Worm already.
Yeah, he's right up there with the reds and the golds.
Yeah, the Styx dragon ends at Gargantuan, but it's swimming, so it doesn't look...
Yeah, which is weird, because usually aquatic creatures are larger than land creatures.
This is dragon bullshit. It doesn't need to make sense.
I was going to say, what is this betrayal?
This is dragon bullshit. It doesn't need to make sense.
Alright.
I mean, the Styx dragon spreads disease, for God's sake. There's no reason a creature that big needs to do that. What else we got in here? The Storm Drake. Oh, God. That thing just looks goofy as hell.
I feel like it... Somebody fucked up, man. Somebody fucked up. It could have been so much better.
I mean, it has the name Storm Drake, for God's sake. Like, come on here. And then it just kind of... Like, it doesn't even look truly terrible, but I would expect it to, like, have giant wings.
Yeah,
more like
and then it's all about... Yeah, it's all about wind, no lightning. Where's the storm?
Yeah, I would expect it to look kind of gray and stormy, not white cloud.
Yeah.
Like, it saddens me that it looks that way.
Yeah, why did they not just call it the Cloud Drake? Wait, that name is taken, isn't it? By something.
Yeah, there's a Cloud Drake.
Yeah. And I bet you it's way better looking, isn't it?
Freaking ethereal dragon. I hate that dragon. It's so dumb.
Okay, let's move on to the kin of Jormungandr himself, the Oceanus dragon. Like,
Yeah, Oceanus dragons are pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they get colossal. Yay for them. Holy
Well,
crap!
it's aquatic. It's a 100% aquatic. Of course, it's colossal.
Thing is a boatload. You're saying that like D&D ecology makes any level of sense.
Let me have this.
I will let you have this because it actually does make sense for one. But you're talking to the dude who sat there going over Fallout's ecology and somehow spin to make sense. I somehow explained Fallout 4's messed up ecology.
Here's the fun one for me, though. The breath weapon of the Oceanus dragon is a loin of lightning laddies.
Nice.
Not lightning laddies. It is lightning laddies. No, this
The cone must succeed in a will save.
This thing does not spew electrified Irishmen.
I mean, maybe it does. I don't think a whole lot of people use this thing, so no one knows what it really.
But it's also got a cone of tranquility gas, and I do not believe the Irish are tranquil. Hang on, I need water. I'm starting to trip over my words.
You know, what seems really strange is that an underwater dragon would have a gas weapon, you know? Seems a little strange.
It is very strange. There's a lot of weirdness like that.
It's for taking out those pesky landlubbers.
But I mean, it does state that both breath weapons function normally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's probably not a gas. It's probably closer to a octopus's ink cloud, I guess.
That would make more sense.
They had to state that they both function underwater because everybody's going to
Otherwise,
be like, what?
Like, yeah, we don't be like, wait, what? I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, well, I think it's because people they would overpower the lightning breath, and they would make the tranquility gas not work.
Yeah. And then you get its Smite Evil, which is only a once per day, which is very odd. But it's a lot of extra damage, so there's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's equal to its hit dice. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Ooh, he's got Control Winds once a day.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Oh,
Yeah.
There's the cool
These
dragons from Oriental Adventures. Those are fun.
What is the alignment for the Oceanus dragon?
Neutral good, always.
Ah, good thing.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a. Oh, what is the dragon? I need to get my Oriental Adventures out. Do I have a PDF of that? I do not. Sad. There's a couple of really good. Right? The lung dragons in Oriental Adventures are all neat. They're all really intelligent and have lots of really neat stuff.
I could have sworn they got reprinted.
Where would they have been reprinted?
Dragon Magic, I would have thought. I guess not.
Yeah, I don't see the lung dragons in here.
That's weird. You missed an opportunity, wizards.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have reprinted them either. It's not like they.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe they were meat dragons.
The fuck? None of these are dragons. I just pulled up the picture.
Too bad that.
Oh, the lung dragons?
Yeah. The fuck?
Yeah, there's only like 2 of them that actually look like actual lung dragons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's too bad that the dragons are all just smushed together in Oriental Adventures into one picture.
Yeah.
That Lilong looks an awful lot like a manticore.
Yes, he does. He's also a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
There's
the Chianglong just looks like it's got issues. It is secretly a half dragon bull.
Right. I do love them though because they all have just ridiculous powers of like, hey, I'm just gonna like.
Yeah, that's
because a lot of them have the ability to like mess with the weather and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what dragons do in East Asian culture. They got that kind of shit going.
Yeah, and I am really happy that they actually nailed that properly. Mm-hmm. I'm designing an E6 setting, and I have just really high CR creatures are the gods. So one of them is the Tianlong dragon, I think I was using. Because it's got actually control weather, so it was able to sort of stop the god war.
All right.
Because there's a giant environmental cataclysm because the gods were slaughtering each other. Particularly like that setting in its design. There's a solar, a 1 pit fiend, there's like 4 dragons because, well, it's a bunch of dragons.
Shall we wrap it up here at an hour and 15 now?
That sounds good.
I guess we can. We got any more dragons we want to cover?
I want to make fun of the Dragon L for a bit.
Dragon elf?
The Dragon L.
Ah.
152. The Dragon Horse.
Oh no.
I hate that thing
No.
so much.
Why'd you have to remind me of that thing? I had just purged it from my mind. Why did you do that to me?
Because I have to suffer by knowing it exists and we don't have good dragon mounts. It's really depressing too because the book is full of drakes. And then for the paladin class feature, here you go. Have this really, really stupid dragon elf.
That is literally just a dragon fucked a horse. That is literally it.
The most shocking
I don't have
part,
a better explanation. I really don't.
The most shocking part is that it's considered an actual dragon type and not like, I don't know, anything else. Like, why does this thing get to be
magical
a dragon?
maybe?
I don't even know why it doesn't look like a giant.
They should have just given it aberration and called it a day.
Or, hell, I actually designed one. I called him a mountain drake because I wanted to have a freaking paladin mount that I. It was just it would flip between. It had limited polymorph, alter self technically. I made it before actually how that worked, but it would shift between being a wyvern style dragon, so 2 legs, 2 wings, and that's how it would fly, or it could morph its front legs or front wings into legs, and then it would kind of look like the I don't actually remember what they're called, but they're the draconic looking mounts from 2 worlds.
Yeah, that's why I always say if you want a dragon mount, take the dragon feet because you don't need leadership for it.
Yeah, literally just take dragon cohort.
Yes.
But yeah,
It will get you a wyvern. You will be happier. Trust us.
Yes, honestly, you will be happier on a wyvern.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can make it like a half dragon wyvern or something.
Yes.
But yeah, I made it specifically because I'm like, the Dragon L was my only option, and I'm just like, that's really dumb because I could be a Death Knight and ride around on a freaking Abyssal Drake instead.
Yeah.
And I know that's a lot of level adjustment, but I'm not riding around on a dragon horse when I could get a Pegasus instead.
Yeah.
Or a Hippogriff, or just
a
long list of other better things.
I think my favorite paladin mount was the time I convinced my DM to let me have a Titanic wolf.
That's pretty badass.
I literally just had a giant. I literally had a wolf that was colossal. However, because of that, my paladin had to use a bow. Because there was literally no way I was going to get anywhere with a melee weapon.
No. I mean, I totally played dudes who rode around on direwolves because direwolves make great mounts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the sad part. There's the spiked fell drake. You could have just rode around on that.
Except I'm pretty sure that's evil.
No. The spiked fell drake is apparently neutral good.
Wait, what?
They're from
What
Bahamut.
is this?
It's so dumb because they're Bahamut. Bahamut made them. They're Bahamut's attack dogs.
Wait, that was a dragon? I always thought it was a dinosaur. I thought it was a badly made dinosaur.
I would totally ride that thing. But it doesn't have a 5 speed. I don't care. It's more dragony than the Dragon L is.
Here's one problem. Look at those spikes. Look at those spikes. Look at those spikes and then tell me that your crotch is safe.
You ride forward with a very, very special sound. I mean, we're talking about a game where we ride around with some very ridiculous things.
Yes, but not many of those things are threatening to spear you in the manhood just from a gallop.
Yeah, I'd probably think of something if I actually sit. It still looks cooler than the Dragon L.
Paladin of 11th level or higher is a special mount.
Oh, thank God. I don't feel you should have to wait that long, because it's not like it's that amazing.
Yeah, it's really not. What the fuck?
It's got immunity to magic. Or no, magic sleep effects.
That's it.
What?
Wait, every dragon has those. Elves
Yeah.
have that.
I was like, wait a minute. What? That is it because it's intelligent?
No, every paladin mount is intelligent. That's part of being a paladin mount.
Yeah, I'm sitting here just literally trying to figure out why. Is it because it's just better at combat than the Dragonelle?
I don't.
That's fine.
know.
It doesn't have reach. The Dragonelle flies. There we go. This seems fairly fair to me.
Wait, why does it have point blank shot? Do they have a ranged attack that I missed? Oh, they shoot spikes.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it shoots spikes like a manticore. Okay.
Well, that's badass.
Yeah. Why the fuck is this not a default paladin option?
It's only a CR4. It's not like it's that crazy.
Yeah, this sounds like it literally should be something for a regular paladin of Bahamut.
Yeah, I don't know why this would literally be trade your special mountain and you can now only ride spike Feldrakes.
Yeah.
Or not ride, maybe it's just your attack dog, but whatever.
Mm.
Like, this would be a great attack buddy.
Yeah, this is.
What are you doing with 11th level? Dear God. Why are you in a paladin for 11 levels?
Most of my paladin builds go to 20, I'll be honest.
I usually jump into a prestige class at some point.
I don't like the paladin prestige classes.
Most of them do suck.
Yeah, I just don't like them. They're not good.
Well, I also dip Crusader.
I don't touch the Crusader.
If I do it, it's for 1 level, just because I want self-healing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is so useful. I mean, if I'm doing Paladin, I'm going usually Hell Reaver. I enjoy the Hell Reaver way too much.
Hell. I forget, was that the prestige class or the race?
That's the prestige class.
Okay. Oh,
Go
Hellbred, that's the race.
Hellbred's the race. Hell Reaver's the prestige class in the same book where you get points when you go into combat. It's really fun.
Yeah, I tried making a Hell Reaver, and then one of the session before I could bring her in decided to make a succubus that didn't know she was a succubus. And I decided, you know what? If I bring in this character, it's going to cause problems. I will switch something out.
The other one is, what is it? It's a Bahamut class. Where when you, I think it's Bahamut. Yeah, I think it's Bahamut prestige class, like a Bahamut Dragon Slayer, where you get a bunch of extra, it's like Dragon Rend or Dragon Reeve or something. That is the class feature, and any damage that causes cannot be healed by normal means.
Rightio then.
Those are always wonderful abilities.
It is so disgusting, and it's like, this is probably not real. Dragon Reeve, it's you for it. You're now permanently down like 40 HP. Screw you.
Yeah, this conversation is definitely straying away from the dragons, but
yes, we accidentally flipped into paladins because of dragon mounts, because they should be riding dragons, damn it.
Tune in next time where we talk paladins and what they really should get as mounts, goddammit.
Oh, we could totally dedicate an hour to that.
Actually, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic to me, because there's a long shit they...
Okay. Well, Mike, we've set up your next episode for you.
All
There you go, you're
right.
welcome.
Shall we call it a night?
That sounds perfect.
Yes.
Excellent. Dragons for all. So with me tonight was Blackhawk
Bye, everybody.
and PhantasyPen.
Wait! We forgot swords!
Oh, God, no.
So,
I'll be here for another 3 hours.
see you next time!